Boom, 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 boom. Shake the room, Chenka. How's it going, everybody? Hey, everyone. Boom, Chenka. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you. Just a live video. Just going to jump on here really quickly and talk about some of the breaking news that is going on in the world of Manchester United and football in general. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear. Let me know that I am. I hope you're all, this finds you all in good health and feeling good and positive and everything. I know it's a difficult time at the moment, but just a bit of news to report from Manchester United is that the club have decided not to furlough its 900 non-playing staff. If I just get the article up here. So basically, United will not be using the government's furloughing scheme to protect around 900 full-time members of staff during the current coronavirus pandemic. In an email addressed to all those affected, Chief Executive Ed Woodward confirmed the club would instead continue to pay all employees as if they were working as usual. Staff have also been assured of flexibility around any care responsibilities during the lockdown, whilst those unable to work from home or on a reduced workload were encouraged to volunteer with the NHS or local community. Goodwill payments for non-match day casual workers, around 950 people, have also been extended until June the 1st, covering average weekly pay based on hours worked between December and February. The club added they would continue to make the goodwill payments already committed to matchday casual workers for the remainder of this Premier League season, and we would be considering how to further support this group, which includes around 3,000 people. Come on, United! See, this is how you're supposed to deal with this sort of situation. This is class. Do you know what I mean? This is what separates United from the Scousieres and the Spurs and the Spuds and that kind of thing, In my opinion, United is a classy club. It's a community club. We might be owned by some pesky glazers, but even they, and even executive chef, I was going to say executive chef, chief executive. He makes me think of being a chef because he's got a head like a potato. But either way, Chief Exec Ed Woodward, even he can see what a terrible PR move alone that this would be to actually furlough Manchester United staff. Plus, Manchester United is a huge football club with a shit ton of money in the coffers, and they can definitely handle taking it on the chin a little bit and paying these 900 non-playing staff members. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely the right decision. All clubs should be doing this. I mean, if clubs are going to use the government scheme, then they just shouldn't actually be allowed to at this stage. Not the Premier League clubs. Fair enough if you're Oldham or whoever down struggling in whatever league and your finances are absolutely raw at the moment and stretched, fair enough, but not in this situation if you're a club making hundreds of millions of pounds profit, like a Liverpool, for instance, who announced that they were going to furlough all of their non-playing staff, or certainly some of their non-playing staff. And now if we just take a look at what's happened today, because of obviously the backlash that they had, the true atrocity of the decision that was made by Liverpool in order to announce that they were going to furlough some non-playing staff. They got so much backlash from the fans, from pundits, from the media, from just anybody, everybody, everybody thought it was an absolutely disgusting idea. Most of you guys did as well. So I think that this is a large part of why Liverpool have actually turned around and made the decision to not furlough their staff, because they've pulled a complete U-turn on it now. So they did announce that they would apply to the UK government scheme to furlough some of their non-playing staff to pay them up to 80% of their wages, right? Which is ridiculous for a money bags club like Liverpool with their owners and the profits that they're pulling. I mean, Liverpool, in comparison to the likes of City, United, they haven't spent anywhere near that same amount of money over that period of time, but they over the last 5-6 years, but they've still been getting the same revenue. They've been winning Champions Leagues. They've been getting the TV deals. So, listen, they are a profitable, healthy football club. Trust me. Sat atop of the Premier League table as it stands. Hope he gets voided. But anyway, yeah, I mean, in regards to Liverpool, they have pulled a complete U-turn. Apparently, what they're going to do now is not apply to the government's scheme to be able to, to furlough their staff. They've come out and they've made a statement. Basically, CEO Peter Moore, in an open letter to fans, has written, "We believe," and this is a direct quote, "we believe we came to the wrong conclusion last week. We are truly sorry for that," says CEO Peter Moore in an open letter to fans. So they've reversed their decision to use the government's furlough scheme, and they've apologised for coming to the wrong conclusion. I mean, that is just it's piss poor, isn't it? They've had to be guilted into this, the Scousers, to be able to do this. If nobody had batted an eyelid or said anything, or said, oh yeah, fair enough, they'd have just done it anyway, just to tighten the purse strings a little bit in a time where there's not much revenue coming in compared to usual. Anyway, I'm still sure that Liverpool are making some pretty tasty profits right now. So that was a disgraceful decision in the first place. Most Scousers who I've spoken to, and I didn't say this in my video the other day, ranting about it, because I was absolutely disgusted with Liverpool's decision. I didn't say this at the time, but there are actually a lot of nice Scouse people. Let's just put it out there, okay? There's a lot of nice Scousers, okay? Okay, nice Scouser. Maybe it doesn't fit into the same sentence, but there's a lot of tolerable Scousers out there, right? And they are just as disgusted at the handling of this situation and the lack of support for the non-playing staff of their football club as everybody else is looking in from the outside. They're just as absolutely mortified and disgusted that their club has reached this decision. So, I say fair play to those people, the people that were sticking by the club no matter what, and were coming on the video and saying derogatory stuff about United just because I was talking bad about Liverpool. I don't think those people are going to get it, but most people understand that people should, the clubs, the executives, the owners, the playing staff, if you earn 100k a week, you can take a little bit of a pay cut right now, okay? I understand you might have huge outgoings, but I'm sure if you're on 100 grand a week, you're going to be okay. It's as simple as that. You can get 90 grand a week, you can get 80 grand a week. You're going to be all right for a little while. Whereas, Doris, the tea lady, getting her extra, 58 quid a week, whatever it is, that is actually a real big difference maker to somebody in this moment in time. So that's what it's all about, really. It's all about not having to furlough staff. I understand, you don't want to have to be in the position where, you have to make people redundant and things like that. But I'm talking about for the top flight football clubs here who are absolutely healthy in their profits, healthy in their positions. Clubs like Liverpool, it's a disgrace that they even went about that. But they have performed the U-turn. But it's really, I don't think it's down to them actually wanting to do that, because I think they would have come out initially and said, let's stand strong with the community, let's stand strong with our non-playing staff, just like United have right now. Now, maybe United sort of have seen what's happened. They held tight a little bit, because it wouldn't have surprised me if the Glazers had done something like this, to be perfectly honest, and would, because they're clowns, man. They are. And it doesn't excuse you, some of the way that the football club is run and handled at Manchester United is a complete absolute disgrace. Registered in the Cayman Islands and all this sort of stuff. I do understand it's not like this club is devoid of any sort of disgraceful behaviour when it comes to behind the scenes. But that's not the fans' fault. That's not the staff's fault at the club. It's the owners, it's the executives' fault, really, for the handling of this football club. So that's where my sort of opinion is. I think that United have done the right thing here. They waited. They came out and they said that they're going to not furlough their 900 non-playing staff members. They're also going to do something for long-term casual staff and things like that as well. So I think that they're handling this in exactly the way that you would want a football club to handle it right now, when they're right at the top of the table. In the Premier League, any Premier League football club should be paying all of their staff members in full over a few month period here. They can take it on the chin. They absolutely can. So that's my opinion on it. I just wanted to jump on here very, very quickly. There's a whole bunch of you legends tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it, lads and lasses. Please do us a favour as well. Smash a thumbs up on this video. Give it a like. And also get involved in the comment section here. I want to see what you have got to say. Edward Lamptey says United still paying the money. That's it. Fair play to them. Fair play to us, because we all knew that was probably going to be well, we didn't know, because we have got the Glazers and Woody, but we expected that to be the case, because United is such a great community football club. And even if we've got American owners, even if it is a really big football club, we still have that community basis to us. And so, say what you want about Man City, but the way that they've dealt with this situation as well, in providing relief and food money to food banks and announcing sort of solidarity in Manchester right now, I think they've handled it with a lot of class as well. And Pep Guardiola certainly handled it with a lot of class. He donated a lot of money to Barcelona, and I just want to say, actually, because sadly, I don't know if you've heard the news, but his mother did actually pass away from the coronavirus, and it just puts things into perspective in a footballing term. I can't imagine what Pep Guardiola is feeling right now. A month ago he's donating money to the coronavirus relief fund, or in Catalonia, I'm not sure what charity or whatnot. But then, and now obviously he's lost his dear mum. So it just puts things into perspective, football is football, this whole rivalry and stuff. I mean, in a time like this, it goes out the window, man. We should all be looking to go and pull in the same direction and help each other and look out for each other. That goes for Scousers, that goes for City fans, players, whatever. That goes for absolutely everybody. And I feel terrible about, that's happened to Pep Guardiola. And I just want to say, on behalf of some United fans, we are, we're with him at this time. Football is not on at the moment. We don't have this rivalry with City right now. I just feel very bad for how he must be feeling and what's going on with his family and everything. So, I mean, it's a strange old time, it is, but I don't understand. It doesn't excuse a football club like Liverpool doing what they did, and now they've performed a U-turn. And they've also gone on to say here, so basically they said, we have consulted with a range of key stakeholders as part of the process aimed at achieving the best possible outcome for all concerned, which a range of possible scenarios were considered, including but not restricted to applying to the coronavirus job retention scheme, which pays 80%. Oh, excuse me, lads and lasses. I apologise. Anyway, you don't want to read this long quote, but basically, just to cut a long story short here, pretty much Liverpool scum. That's what I'm taking from this. Their owners, their execs, their leadership at the club, they need to hang their heads in shame a little bit on this one, and they've had to perform a U-turn because the backlash was insane. But United have done the correct thing, United have done the right thing, and Manchester United have decided not to use the government scheme to furlough staff, and they will be paying all of their 900 non-playing staff full-time wages over this period, which I think is absolutely bloody amazing, lads and lashes. And it should be the industry standard across the whole of the Premier League. Right, let's read a bunch of your comments out then, lads and lasses. Thank you so much for tuning in and getting involved here. Massive shout out to you on this Monday evening. I'll be back a bit later at 9 p.m. UK time for the FIFA stream. So make sure you do stick in and get involved in that as well. T-Cow, how you doing? The Music Fiend says best club in the universe. I mean, I think we have got, we've judged this one 100% right. But listen, we have got terrible owners. We have got Woodward. We have got execs at the club, which I don't personally think have the best interests of the football club at heart. They're using it as a business to generate money for them. And that is absolutely wrong. So it's not like we are completely infallible, but at the same time, United have got this one absolutely spot on. They can afford to pay their staff members for a few months right now, rather than using the government scheme to just pay them up to 80% of the wages. They're pinching pennies for no good reason, and it's actually affecting those staff members at your football club. We're not talking about the first team coaches or whoever who's on hundreds of thousands, if not millions a year here, but we're talking about the average people, who washes the kit, who works in the canteen, who's cooking up the meals in the canteen. All these types of jobs are done by good, honest, hard-working average people who have to live. And okay, some might say to go home and, sit at home and get paid up to 80% of your wage is not the worst thing in the world. And for a lot of people, that's not. But still, as people have got mortgages to pay, they've got things to pay. I know they've put a freeze on that, but I'm just saying, these are the people where the bread line is much damn closer, or the poverty line is much damn closer to them than it is to, Mo Salah, for instance, or whoever, it's just they're not going to be affected by the situation like the average working people of this world. So that's what it's all about, really. Right, let's read a bunch more of your comments out then. Batman Night Fan, what's crack-a-lacking? The Music Fiend says, man, I love this club. Ethical and legendary. Yeah, absolutely, I must say. Alex the Rincon Meister, how you doing, mate? Check your Skype, Alex Rincon, son. I sent you a message. He says, like the video. Thank you very much, Rincon. Yes, mate, please do smash a thumbs up on this video. What do you think about this, Rincon, man? Obviously, it's the right decision. Even the Glazers and Woody, I guess they probably had the benefit of hindsight as well. When they've seen the sort of reaction that, Newcastle fans had, or Spurs fans has, or Liverpool fans have had over this period where they've announced that they would do this. Obviously, United have taken a step back there, and even the Glazers and Woody have gone, this is probably the best thing to do. But more than that, it's actually the right thing to do. Of course, it's the right thing to do, and that should be the overriding factor for the decision here. Ice Queen Gaming, what's crack-a-lacking? G-Wolf United says, but we'll still be the best club, Illa. I'm not sure who we're referring to here, but never mind the bollocks, says Man U would have definitely furloughed their staff if Liverpool didn't get a backlash 100%. I mean, I actually really disagree with you there, because I do think United still has that community club vibe, and I still think that at the end of the day, as a fan base, as a community, as a club, they know what is the difference between right and wrong at a moment like this. And there are a club that can take that hit of having to have this little economic downturn for a while and pay people's wages in full without having the same revenue streams coming in. I think that most clubs would realise that. And it's not just, I know it's easy to say that, but if you look at the individuals around the world of football that have done things for this coronavirus relief, or certainly for the staff members, like I said, Eddie Howe at Bournemouth, he's got no obligation to do that, but he's just done it off his own back. And I think a lot of people would still do it off their own backs. And I think a club like Manchester United, with the rich tradition and ethics and history that we do have, I think they would have done that. But if you're asking me, would the Glazers do it? Would the Glazers maybe want to do that? Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, they might. But I still think it wouldn't get passed through, the board and everything in order to push that through. I think that United would have paid their staff. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I just think that United's a little bit of a classier outfit than maybe the Scousey Airs in that situation. The Saint comments, well done on Liverpool backtracking fast. At least they recognised it's a mistake. I mean, I hear what you're saying, The Saint. I actually don't view it in the same way. I think that, yes, I'm glad they've backtracked, and I'm glad that they realised they made the mistake. But it is a terrible mistake to make, and it's a very... it's quite an unethical mistake to make, in my opinion, and it just goes to show you maybe the interests of the people up the top there, what they've really got in hand. And unfortunately, it does come down to money for a lot of these people. And yeah, it's a good thing that they've turned it around and they have decided not to go through with the UK government scheme there. But I think it's mostly around, mostly because of the backlash that's being created by the fans of the media and the press and everybody involved around Liverpool. I think that's the main overriding reason why that they've done the 180 here. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, it's still a good thing that they've done it. Yes, Dylan Gill says rest in peace. G Wolf says rest in peace. Pep's mum. I mean, so sad for the man. I mean, I can't even imagine begin how he feels right now, especially this virus comes along and it's taken thousands and thousands of people. And, he's one of the very unlucky ones. And it doesn't matter what position you're in. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how much money. It's his mum, And he's going to be an absolute bitch. So I feel very sad for the man. I do. And there's lots of people in this situation around the world. It's a terrible time. But, yeah, absolutely. Football aside right now, we've just got to look at the humanitarian point of view. Dan the man says, Piggy, you coming down with something? I don't know. I definitely feel a bit rough, lads and lasses. And I've got a little bit of the sniffles and the sneezes and a runny nose. But I don't really have a temperature, I don't think, and I don't have a cough, so I think I don't know. Oh, Lee Matthews says United leading the way, as always, my friend, as always. Cowden Conway says, thank God Ed is so slow. This would have been a mare for the club if we had done the same. Yeah, I mean, there is, like the previous commenter said earlier, what's his name? Never mind the bollocks. Yeah, I mean, if that had have happened... If that hadn't have happened, maybe United would have done it. I don't know. I'm just saying I hope that they wouldn't have done it because it's not the right thing to do. But this is Glazers and this is the Woodward that we're talking about. Batman Night Fan says, send Sanchez to China and nobody will want him. Yeah, I mean, Alexis Sanchez, man. I mean, that might actually be quite a reasonable destination for him. Maybe we could do something in terms of the Igalo deal. I mean, I heard some report like they're going to up Igalo's wages to 400k a week. Well... that sounds like the sort of wages maybe that they could get Alexis Sanchez for off of us. Because he's on 400 to 500k a week or whatever it is at United. I'm just saying, do him over to China and get Igalo in return. Sounds pretty damn tasty to me. Yeah, very unethical, says the Saint. Very unethical. Hopefully no other clubs decide to do this. I mean, if any clubs come out now, after this whole PR move, any Premier League clubs come out and say that they're not going to... pay staff fully over this period, I think that they're going to have an absolute bloody nightmare. So there you go. The Saint says, once we've lowered the curve, it's just the start of this, guys. It's going to be ages before we get back to the old way of life. I do think so. I think it's going to be months. I mean, we don't even know what sort of the seasonal impacts might have with temperature changes. Hopefully the hot weather will, from what I've heard, might be able to stop it. It doesn't like hot weather from what we understand, but then winter comes around. Is it going to be a seasonal thing? There's a lot of questions to ask here, people. But hopefully we get through it together. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. It was just a very quick one from me to discuss the news here. Short Monday analysis, if you like. And I also want to talk about, just briefly, Tottenham's son Heung-min. He's going to complete his mandatory 4-week military service back in his home country of South Korea this month. The 27-year-old was given exemption from the extended 21-month military service after he won the gold medal with South Korea in the 2018 Asian Games. But he still needs to complete a 4-week service, and with the Premier League suspended for the foreseeable future due to coronavirus, it has been agreed now is the best time for him to undertake it. That's mental, isn't it? Heung-min is travelling back to South Korea right now. I mean, they've actually dealt with it as well as anybody, I think, over there in terms of dealing with the spread and dealing with the coronavirus. So, it's not one of the most unsafe places to go, but it's just in terms of travel, it's not the most convenient time. Son's probably not looking forward to that one. That's all I'm going to say there. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there, but thank you so much to all of you that have tuned in. Kyle Broom says, stay home, pig. No more popping over to Tesco. I agree with you, mate. 100%. People are stupid who are going and doing needless journeys right now. You don't need to go to the shop to do that. Just get a delivery, or if you can't get the delivery, then I understand, but limit your options going out, Right, okay, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's brilliant to hear from you all. Thanks for getting involved in the live chat. Please do us a favour and smash a thumbs up on this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts in the not live comments. Let me know about what you think about United's handling of this situation. Let me know what you think the Premier League should do as an overriding sort of governing body right now, or generally across all the clubs, like a blanket decision. Or, should it be down to the individual clubs? Let me know what you think about Liverpool's handling of this situation and all that other good stuff. Right, okay, I'll see you in about an hour and 45 minutes, 9 p.m. UK time for the FIFA 20 live stream Manchester United Career Mode, episode 14. Tune in then. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is The Pig. Stay classy. See you on the next one. And come on, United.